number one, we reevaluated and created a new structure. Obviously we felt like we wanted to do something what we feel like is better and different because we did not get the results that we wanted. So I want to be very blunt about that. So we have new guys on our side of the ball, and we've got 3 new guys. So we dove in this past week. We went from 0 to 1,000 after having the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and that's where we're really starting to fill each other out. You can sit in a meeting room and you can enjoy each other's company, but we get out there on the field, it's what's the cohesiveness of that coaching staff, so then we can impart that to the guys. But if you don't mind, I'll speak individually about them. It's easiest for me to talk about Jason Seymour, just knowing him the longest and having a relationship, knowing him all the way back from being a graduate assistant days and all of his journey. I think he's truly earned the opportunity to be in this position right now, all the stops. This past season, he was defense coordinator at Valdosta State and had a chance to make a run to the national championship. And I think he's an elite coach. I think he's an elite man. And a lot of the guys inside the building were excited about that hire. Very unknown to the outside world, but there are a lot of guys that had good relationships and really respected him. It was very specific to some of the back end, the defensive backs, and some of the linebackers. So he's brought in a ton of value and really pushed him towards the linebacker rooms for him to take over that room that we have a lot of confidence in. So the Charlie Thomases and Ace Ely's are really starting to figure him out and vibe with him and be on the right track and speaking the same language. So I love that room, and got quite the heart for that room right now after all the time invested in there. So pushing Coach Seymour in that way. Coach Till obviously came to us from Michigan State, had an incredibly successful season. A lot of people in this organization know Coach Till because of his Georgia Tech background. And now he's been here since January, so we've truly had a chance to get through some recruiting and get out on the road together, and then obviously now have a chance to do a little ball. He's got the biggest group right now when you talk about corners, nickels, safeties, free safeties. So if I spend some time, and even today, and we had 2 individual periods in the second individual period, I hopped in with him, and we worked some coverage stuff, so to be able to help him. But the big piece for us looking forward and reorganizing is to try to have one voice in that room. We felt like one of the errors that we need to most improve upon is communication on the back end. So guys having more cohesion, guys meeting together, we felt like that is something that can create a solution. So those guys have met together, and then even in some meeting room settings, I've had the opportunity to go in there as Coach Till has caught his stride with the scheme and technique and the verbiage and help with that room. So really pleased with him. I think there's a tremendous level of respect from the guys. I think there's always a different vantage point when you've played at Georgia Tech, you've been a second-round draft pick, you've been an all-ACC guy, you've played in the NFL. I think before Coach Tillman ever stepped in the door, I think the guys respected that because so many of them, that's where they're trying to get to. And then now he's come in and he's been able to be himself. And I really like his personality. I like it that he has relationships with the guys, but he's hard on them. He keeps those guys accountable. I think he's got a really good balance of what he's doing in that room. And I just see such a level of respect. And that's what we're looking for, those guys doing what they're asked to do and building cohesion. And then now our newest member, Coach Turner. Obviously, Coach Collins had a great relationship with DT, with Coach Turner. They were in there, had a ton of success at Mississippi State, but he's brought a lightness to the room. Not that anybody wants to hear that, but he's just he's got a great sense of humor, great personality. But it's a level of just maturity and calmness and experience and everything that he's been through, being in all the places and all the logo he's been over all the years, the types of players and NFL player after NFL player that he's had the opportunity to coach. So I think similar to Coach Tillman in the way that he's a former player and played at the NFL, and so many guys have seen where he's been, I think the level of player and the level that Coach Turner has coached at it at such a high level for so long that those guys had an opportunity to see him through a different lens and just bring in an immediate level of respect as he's had to dive in quickly. And then all that being said, Larry Knight, who I think has some of the best relationships of anybody on the team and is one of our elite recruiters on our staff and a loyal and trustworthy coach and friend that's developed some really good players, has had a chance to stay in that room to help DT just with the transition. Organizationally, I'd say the biggest piece that's created is cohesion as a defensive line unit and cohesion as a DB unit. That was the goal. That was the purpose. It wasn't to reassign just to mix things up. That was the goal. And then in the process, Coach Collins is taking a concerted effort to make sure that he is available more than he's ever been for the defensive room. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. Whatever your opinion is, I think he's one of the elite defensive coaches in the country, and when he's fully invested, it is a great service to us. What that allows me to do is not take a step back, but have a different vantage point, let those guys really work on the cohesion of the unit. I'll be very honest with you. If there's any type of things going on off the field, those guys have the onus to have to go to fix those things or to create any solutions right there, so I can have a more of a global lens and step back and help in different type of areas. So it is trial and error right now. It is new. It's a new model, and we've made it through 4 days. Me personally, I know you're not asking me to be personal, but me personally, I've enjoyed that process. I've enjoyed starting individual 1 with the linebackers, individual 2 with the DBs, go over to DB one-on-ones, sneak down to the defensive line, and try to make sure to have an open lens and not to be so myopic in my linebacker room. And obviously the goal is that it puts us a better product out on the field. So, no, it's super long-winded, but I wanted to make sure that it was such a restructure as to why and why I felt the purpose was and why I'm excited about some of the guys moving forward.
Okay. It is kind of a different position. Most schools that put in that position. Did you think your brains about how does this work, or kind of how are you kind of figure out?
I think we started with the model, and to be honest, I don't have a huge ego, so we're going to make it work. I mean, I really see it that way. It was how do we help the kids? That's always our goal. I mean, it really is. God, I always say this. I'm trying not to give you a corny answer, but it's always to help the kids. So we felt like having the guys, the defensive line, in a unit together, and then DT and Larry Knight being able to break those up in moments, and having the DBs together specifically so we can mitigate any freaking communication problems was the most important piece. Coach Seymour has such range at what he could coach, but it was the best thing to get him in the linebacker room and for us to be able to do that. So it was #1 goal, cohesion of units, and then let's work from there and let's make it work. And then in the process, let's figure this thing out through spring ball about where we can best fit each other in literally in each individual period of the practice before we ever get to any type of game planning or game day scenarios right there.
Rod, having those new coaches on the defensive side of the ball, does that help you get a fresh look at the evaluation process of who you have at the different positions?
So I'll look through the lens of the kids right now. There's so many guys, and right over in the corner of my eye is Jalen King. We got a young man like Jalen King that's been in the program for quite some time. He's been a spot player, but he's normally been a second rotational guy. He's thriving right now. He's got a new opportunity. He has a opportunity with players departing and with new coach and Coach Tillman to have the opportunity to go out there and rebrand himself and reintroduce himself without any preconceived notions. So I think there's so many guys that are excited about having a new voice. It's never a shot to anybody else, but just having a new opportunity in those moments as we've had change and had turnover like every roster in the country. So there's excitement about new guys. I spoke to individually about each guy and why there's excitement for those dudes. But yeah, they're coming in and tried very hard because we've been here for a minute, to not load them up with these preconceived notions and ideas and opinions and let them make opinions for themselves so we can have a different perspective of it. And then certainly in terms of football and schemes and techniques, just the amount of experience that we've brought in. Till has an NFL experience. Coach Turner has years and years and years of coaching at a high level, has already immediately allowed us to question why we do things, question techniques, so then we come to the conclusion of what's better in that way. So again, I think it's allowed so many kids to re-image and rebrand themselves, and then certainly it's helped us in football just in terms of ideas and schemes and techniques and thoughts to be able to be open-minded in that way.
I'm a big believer there's a correlation between how the offense plays and how the defense plays. When one's going well, you look the other up, and so when one struggles, the offense will struggle. Do you feel like with Coach Long and what they're trying to do offensively, if it's successful, that will aid your defense regardless on the field? You just having more sustained drives, more success on that side of the ball will lift your players up and bring more confidence and lift the defense up as well.
Yeah. I always pause before I answer your questions, Kelly, because you ask very pointed questions, and I appreciate that. And sometimes I think you tried to create a softball And you're completely right. You are right. I'm trying just to not to jump on the softball, but certainly we're completely focused on how we can do it better on defense. Football is a complementary game, and college football in particular, all football is so momentum driven. And when we're seeing the success that Coach Long's having with the offense right now and seeing the maturation, and everybody's so excited about Jeff Sims, not to put everything on Jeff Sims' back, but to see him going into year 3, see him healthy, see him in Coach Long's system, see him under Coach Winkie, and see the players around him right now, just how fast that they're going. The amount of offense that they've already presented to us in 4 days is astronomical, and it is great for us. So certainly there's excitement that their success will help in the complementary piece. College football is a momentum-driven ride the wave. We try to worry about process and put the ball down in every play is individual play, but that is what it is. And then certainly we'll work off of their success and feed off of their success, and then hopefully we can complement one another and look for an improved product.
Sorry, Coach.
Good.
Time for a couple more, so we got the student athletes. Rod, if you want to start us.
You've lost a couple of guys up front, but all that means is there's opportunities for other
Sure.
guys. And you had a pretty young group up there. What are you seeing from the progress there? Is anyone?
Yeah,
catch?
I'll jump on the question. Normally, I always try to avoid talking about individuals. If you talk about one individual, you're not talking about another. I'll hop on it because I'm so proud of their effort. One, Micaiah Scott has done a great job after coming in as a transfer and playing sparingly, playing in some third down moments. Him and Jordan Williams are high school teammates. Jordan plays offensive line. Obviously, Micaiah plays defensive line. Those guys in that break from December to January before we had opportunity to get our spring ball, I think they've transformed their bodies and spent the most time together of getting themselves in a good place. And because he took care of his body and made such a jump on his own and with Coach Lou, he is playing at a high level right now. I think he's catching his stride going into year 3, and we're looking for big things from him on the interior. On the outside, a young man that's just been availability piece and was a true freshman this past year is Noah Collins. We're very excited about his ability. He's got to come along in terms of his execution and picking up things in the meeting room, but an ability piece of the explosion he's given. There are so many other guys that I'm excited about and proud of, and guys we have coming back, but I was just trying to give you 2 examples on the inside and on the outside that have had really good off seasons, and as a byproduct, they're having success in 4 days of a view of them.
Okay.
Obviously last year the numbers were what they were, but I think can you speak a little bit to what I imagine is a high degree of sense of responsibility and desire to set things right, because of the last couple of months?
Sure, I'll answer that question. And it doesn't matter what I say; the answer won't be right. But wholeheartedly want to be here. I love this place. I've invested a lot of time in these kids. That doesn't guarantee results, but truly invested. I hope that if you're asking me individually and us as a staff, that our work ethic and what we're trying to do and the changes that we have made, be it scheme, be it technique, be it organization, be it everything that we're doing is for these guys. And we desperately want to put out a product that we're proud of. I certainly know that I think you'd ask for a grade in the past. I don't know how to do that. We didn't meet the standard. It's like, did you meet it or not? We didn't. And there's a lot of emotions and feelings that go into that when you don't have success. The opposite of success is failure. So when you're not having success, there's a lot of things that go into that. So I just think as adults, we ask the kids to do so many things, and then as adults, it's hard for us to do. So how can I have the lack of success and not meeting a standard fuel me is my decision, and I've decided to create habits that I believe work even harder and try to find even different ways to reach the kids so they go out and execute at a high level, that they feel good about what we're doing. Obviously, we've made changes with people and dynamics and organization, but me as an individual, I'm driven by that. And to not be that, to be in my feelings, to be worried about something is wrong for me and as an adult in the way that we're asking those kids. So I don't have the perfect answer for you, Ken. I just have an intent of heart, and my intent of heart and my drive and everything that I do either gains the kids' respect or they don't, and they have to answer that. I hope and I believe that I have a bunch of the kids' respect, irregardless of anything that has happened up to this point. And well, we have a lens of looking forward, not to be cliche, not to be cheesy, but We're in spring ball. We're in day 4, and guys are excited. And we had our first third down day, and we're making third down stuff, and the fists are going up, and guys are talking and communicating and badgering the offense on the sideline. We're really excited about what they're trying to do right now. It's our job to get them out there in the right place, in the right spot, playing at a high level. Excited about the opportunity. I'm very, very appreciative to be here.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you. See you. Have a good one.